Hello, everybody. So we're gonna continue with these cutters I got from Polyclayplay, and I'm going to first give you a few ideas of stuff that's fairly simple, but would achieve great results. And I'm going to go for this little one to make a pair of that's great for earrings. And as you can see, you can actually make two kinds of earrings, one using only because these are both cutters. This is not an imprint like with the other ones that we did last time. So it would cut this small thing. So we can do earrings that only have this, or we can add this little part on top to make them longer, to make them shoulder huggers. And for the first type, what I did, I made a Skinner blend that is with gold and peacock pearl. And as you can see, I made it, then I fan folded it, and then I made it in kind of a, let me get it better here, of a diamondy shape with each color at the top of the diamond. Hi Lane, thank you for making it. And you can see that I did reduce it quite a bit. And now I'm going to cut it in 4. So that I can put it together. And I'm going to put it together like this. Actually, let me get it 2 by 2 together. Make sure that the front and the back are well aligned. Hi Lynn. I'm sorry that you missed, but you can always re-watch my my lives. You know that they appear about 3 to 5 minutes after they are over. They will appear online. Okay, and you can make this with any color you want. I do recommend that if you want to resin them, I recommend that you use pearlescents or metallics. You can also use different hues of translucent. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways you can use this for, and always turn it around. Try to do the same thickness. And Seamus is decided to cry. I have no idea what he's crying about. Probably the fact that he can see about 1/4 inch of the bottom of his food bowl. Okay, so let's put them together now. Is it wide enough? Yes, it is. And one more. And doing the burnishing part, You want to rub as usual whenever you're dealing with metallic slash pearlescent. You want to rub, not roll. And I'm going to do that until there are no more white areas. As you can see, one of my slices was not as thin as the other ones. And if you hear any kind of engine, that's looks like a propeller plane is doing rounds. And the base nearby. That one was definitely much thinner than the other ones. Okay. Let's go again. There we go. Now, as you can see, I still have a little bit here. So there we go. Now I have no more. And of course, I need to apply some Armor All. So we will not have issues cutting. And I want to get some of this blue on both sides. I hope I'm good. Yeah, I did do a good cut. Oh, I do need my X-Acto knife. And depending if you want to reuse this or not. So there we go. As you can see, it's quite pretty. I'm not going to resin it yet. I'm going to do first the second one. And I'm going to use the exact same thing, but this time I'm going to do a chop and toss to show you how it looks like once it's done. So don't go very small, but don't go too big either. And remember, for the chop and toss, you kind of need to let the clay rest for a little bit, so it wouldn't be too smooshy, and it will keep the tossing part separate. It will keep the pieces separate. Hi, Christina. Okay. And of course you can do this with, for turquoise, any of the, remember I do have a playlist with, for gemstones. You can do it with that. We can use an embossing powder with stuff. There are many ideas for this. So I think that this is good enough. So I'm going to start first tossing it a little bit more and then consolidating it. I saw that since I showed the chop and toss technique, I don't know, it was like 5 years ago. Now there are full channels who do nothing else but chop and toss on various clays. which is good. Hey, as long as people like it, it's awesome. And honestly, it's one of the most showy techniques for translucence and pearlescence. I need to condition some more translucent because I still have like 6 or 7 bricks, the 1 pound bricks, but they are pretty old at this time and I need to use the never need machine, and it's a little difficult on my hands. So what I'm interested in here is to get the length properly. So it needs to be a little bit longer because I'm going to practically Natasha it. So I want one part to be wider than the other. And you can already see it's quite beautiful as is. Oh, another thing that I forgot to tell you, for this Skinner blend, you need to add equal parts of translucent to the pearlescent / metallic, or you won't get this. And generally speaking, when you do a toss and a chop and toss with translucent / so I do have half translucent / pearlescent, if you add a little bit of translucent, it will intensify the mica shift effect. And the reason is quite simple. It's because obviously, okay, this one is a little bit too thick. I'm going to cut a little bit of it. Obviously, being more translucent, you can see deeper, right? Okay, kind of, sort of. Not fully Natasha, but it's okay. No, it was this side. Wasn't it? Yes, it was this side. I was looking on the wrong side. Alrighty. So once again, we want to go ahead and burnish this whole thing. First, use your fingers, and then we want to, so don't go with it through the machine because you're going to mess up the mica particle direction. So this one is still a little bit too wide on the right side. And there we go. And once again, arm roll. My acrylic blocks and me are in a love-hate relationship. Usually from time to time I find them and then they hide again. So I need to make like a special spot here and like a hanging something or another. Okay. This was a bit messed up, but I can fix this. On this, I would recommend you, and you can go thinner, of course, if you want to add resin. But on this, if you make it a little bit thicker, I recommend that you do the sanding and buffing. I'm going to add resin on both of them because it's easier and makes you see how it looks like when done faster. But just a second. Sometimes it's difficult to have everything ready on my table because I only have so much table, you know. Alrighty. Okay. Quick. And make sure that you go all the way to the edges. And you don't have to worry about putting a backing on it. Of course, I'll show you how it looks like with a bezel or not, but if you want to leave it just as is, simply use like a 400 grit sandpaper on the back once it's baked. So you remove that glass-like shine that happens when you bake on tile. It doesn't matter if it's a ceramic tile or a mirror tile. But I will do on one of them, I will do a bezel so you can see better how it looks like. And I wasn't fast enough. I got some resin going down, but as I told you before, it's easily fixable. Whenever you get resin pouring down from your cabochon. All right, now next, I've been looking for live I did at one point. Yeah, I found it. I think this is it. All right, now let's grab some gold. And of course, you can use all kinds of other pearlescents, and as I said, but most of these, as an idea, most of these cutters that Trish sent me would be the best with stuff like faux jade. they would make absolutely beautiful. Or if you remember when I did this on this tutorial, something like this. It's a translucent with all kinds of let me zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Translucent with mica effects. Something like this would look beautiful with all of her cutters. Alrighty, just a second. And I'm going to use again this Nautilus style. Where is my... Oh, there it is. I remember I was telling you how to clean textures. I thought I cleaned this one, but what you do, you just simply do this, and then you take an old toothbrush and just go all over it. Do not use I mean, you can use in the end some alcohol, but don't use the alcohol right before you use the texture. That won't work well. Okay, so looks like after 8 years I'm going to finally need to get a new armor on. That's and thing that I used a lot of it on my car when I was still driving, still taking a lot of care of my car. That should be okay. And remember, this has to be about as thick as your the clay, plus about 0.5 millimeter more. And this should be long enough for what I need. And on one side, I'm going to actually do a diagonal cut. Make sure that it is even. And going in, the diagonal cut going in. Okay, so first I'm going to cut it in half. And then give it a 45-degree angle on the side that has the diagonal cut. So diagonal cut is on this side, and we are giving it a 45-degree cut. And also you can wax it before anything else, so let's go ahead and wax it just to have it pretty enough, but you can actually wax it after you bake it. I usually, to apply wax on thin things like this, I use the flat silicone tipped sculpting tool, not stool. I forgot to put this back. Alrighty, so now we are going to place these. Of course, I need my eyes. We are going to place these right here with, this is why we needed that diagonal cut, so it would go slightly on the resin here. And we give it another cut here. And then we place so this one was cut too sharp. I need to give it less. It's more than 45 degrees. And there we go. And the same thing, make sure that it comes all the way a little bit high. It's okay for right now if they don't meet perfectly, because we shall do that here in a minute. There we go. So first, what you need to make sure is that you have the whole bezel well against the cabochon that you just made, to give it the perfect metal setting illusion. And then push down here the same way. And as I was telling you before, when you have very fine lines like this one, you can wait until after you've baked it and then go with wax over the line, and it will gently fill it up. But we want to kind of get this well together. And the other thing that you can do, and you can do this with the end of a paintbrush, you can go around and do a little bit of beveling. And then you'll come back on that and apply more wax or acrylic paint if you so desire, if you don't have wax, or if you prefer to work with the acrylic paint. And there we go, we have it nicely. But as I said, you can leave it as is, like this one is. So I'm going to zoom it in and then once again show you how you can fix this kind of stuff, like when your resin drips over. There you go. Have all these beautiful things going on. Now let's fix the resin thing. And what I use, it's an old toe clipper that I use for when I have things inside, like here, but you can do that after you bake it, okay? I'm going to do it now because I'm on the live and I need to show you how to. But don't do this when it's still, the clay is still raw. You don't want to do this when the clay is still raw. And if on the outside you can easily use a pair of scissors, the toe clipper is better because it can cut really nice, and then you can sand a little bit if you still have anything extra. And see how I have here 2 little notches, which if I do it with the clay still raw, the chance is that I'm going to clip the clay, but that's why I said don't do this when the clay is raw. See, it's almost impossible to do it. Do it when the clay is baked, because that way you won't be clipping the clay. But you can do it with a toe clipper, because don't we all hate when that happens? But I found that it's not such a big disaster. It is very easily fixable. So yeah, these are 2 ideas with the same type of clay. And that's okay, don't worry. So 2 different types of work with the same coloring of the clay, and you can see it looks beautiful. Now, before we move to the next one, let me get this out of my thing as well. If I can do one more piece of something. Alrighty, I'm going to do the, remember I told you, I promised you I'm going to show you what to do with this. But I'm going to do it next Sunday. This one, that is for itty bitty, very itty bitty beads. But it is very important that you have these very itty bitty beads, and they come in several sizes. I asked Trish to send me the smallest size, and hold on, it's something that I didn't get out of the bag. Alright, so I was going to check this. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this one. I'm not entirely sure how to work this, but well, we'll figure it out, huh? And grab a piece of this antique gold. So as usual, this is the thicker, so I will have the lines from the gears that I'm always very careful not to have. Because especially on metallic clay, it's going to show. So let's see what this is all about. What does it do? So this is the thickest setting, because I see that there's different levels of this. So I want to see what this is all about. You have these. Okay, so what I think is they would be good for stamped Megane and for mixed media. But we'll see. Believe me, the 3D printing cutters is a very serious business, and a lot of times, you know, you might have an idea, and the idea might not come out as you were. Oh, so this is very easy. Remember my clay inlay thing? So you can do it as is like this. I didn't pull it out very nicely, but so you can do it as is like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna use this mink. I think this is the mink. Then use the mink. I'm not the mink, but gonna use this because it was on my table, and it will show on the antique gold. You can use mica powder, or search in my channel for clay inlay. You can bake it as is, and then inlay clay of another color in the all the depressions, so in the little hearts and in this line that divides the yin yang. It would be great for Valentine's or for... I honestly think that if you would go for a, you know, decorations for a wedding or an engagement or something, or even pendants or something, you know, that would be pretty for a couple. Yes, it makes a wonderful yin yang. And the thing is that you can actually use both methods just for the heart part. I mean, put one color of mica powder, and once again I would use whatchamacallit, I would use perfect pearls, not a Pearl X, and use one color on one side, another color on the other side. But another thing that we can use here, I'm not sure if I have any close, which I do not, would be to put a few mylar flakes and then put resin in this, or simply, you know, you can color with acrylic and put a little bit of glitter and then cover it with resin. You can, but it would take you a while to fix it like this. I would, for a yin yang, I would go with a cane, honestly, because it would take forever to manage to place the clay perfectly, you know. Or you can do two separate ones. You can do one white, one black, and then cut both of them, then go with your X-Acto knife and cut right in the middle, separate, and put them together. That you could do, and it would be much easier if you want to do that. But the other thing, talking about that, I'm thinking that you can do also you can cut it and do a pair of earrings, you know, because I will cut it properly, not like what I'm doing right now. You can do a pair of earrings, because it would be, no, they would be both on the same side. No, you cannot do a pair of earrings. But you see what I mean when I'm saying do one with white, one with black, and then separate them, and then put one half of the black and one half of the white, and here again one half of the black and one half of the white. So this should work just fine. Let's see the other one, how it looks like. Let me go ahead with this again. As this one is a little bit different. You can see it's got a the little hearts. I don't know if you noticed, there are little hearts on the backs of her cutters. Not on this one, but on this one there are. Not yeah, they're little bitty pieces, but the cutters that are thicker and bigger, you can see them better. The little hearts. All right. So remember, I'm not suggesting these colors, okay? We just want to see how they work. Okay. Yes, I didn't cut it very well. It will, something like this would definitely need. Now, you know what I would do with this? I would use on the bottom. You can get them at Polyclayplay, and please don't forget to use my affiliate link, because that allows me to buy those gift cards that I do the drawings on. I didn't do that in a while. Let me put out my affiliate link. Okay, there you go. Or from my channel. So what I would do with this, I would actually put either some enamel powder, but I'd be careful about the enamel powder because it might stick to the raised areas. I would bake it first, right? Make sure that I have sanded all the edging. If your hands are as weak as mine and you have problems, I already posted the link on the chat. And then use liquid clay, both for the thing in the middle here, and in the middle for the dip in here, and for the heart, that it would look the best, I think. And you can use this on white clay, and then put some black liquid clay, and then if you want you can even add an extra bezel, or simply try and wax just the outer area, and don't forget to wax the side. And then once it's baked, sand a little bit the back so it wouldn't be all shiny, and wax it, and there you go, you have a very pretty yin yang. And I think it's going to be just fine if you do it that way, and it's easy to make. So Elaine, now you know how to use them. You said you already have them, but you didn't know how to use them. I think you can do that perfectly. And another thing that you can do, honestly, because of the way it is, you can always do the black and white. If you remember, go to my to any of my stamped mokumegane and make sure that the top of it is very thin. It doesn't matter if you do. I would go with the top of it being black with a white background, and then you put it here, and then you shave, and you'd have a flat black and white yin yang. Okay, so you shouldn't have any issue with it, and you'll have a black ring, thin ring here, and then a white ring here. So several ways you can actually do it. Give me just a second, because you can do this, and also you can use the mica shift, because this is a metallic, right? So let me armor all my blades. And then we can shave the whole thing. There we go. And of course, you can shape it a little bit more. But you get the idea. And it will look like a very interesting holographic image. Just make sure that you don't cut more than the level of the dip in there. There we go. So you can see the effect. So 3 ways of using these. Okay, so it would be the same way that you'd use the black and white mokumegane, stamped mokumegane. So I hope you liked them. Hold on. Let me see. It should be on the paper that Trish sent. So let me get my eyes. Yin Yang, it's the 30 millimeters. Hold on, let's go. With the refocus. Okay, so have to 30 millimeters. We still need to go with the thing that I did is the Moroccan teardrop cutter, were these ones that I absolutely love it. And then I got the dangle and bead roller and tray 6, but the micro bead that I'm going to show you next Sunday is the 2 millimeters. Okay, so as you can see, playing angle 30 millimeters, so that's a little bit bigger than an inch. And for the next time is this micro bead roller, 2 millimeters. You can get a bigger one if you don't want to make them that small. And one we did is the Moroccan teardrop cutter. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it and you try it, and I shall see you next Sunday. And don't forget, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to leave me thumbs up, because if you want to be able to if you want to be able to see more of my videos coming up, you know, YouTube's algorithm and what it does, the more a video is watched, the more 30, I said 30. Okay, so I shall see you next Sunday, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you wish. There are well over 1,000 videos on my channel, and you can find them nicely arranged also in playlists. And if you're trying to look for something, make sure that you look on my channel. Hold on, let me go on my channel, and you can search. Did I do? Yeah, you can use the search function for anything you might want to see. Let's say Mokume Gane. Oh, I messed up here. Sorry, I have my keyboard is a little bit far from me. So you get all kinds of stuff about Mokume Gane, with tips and all kinds of things. And there is, as I said, there is a mini series. This is part wherever you see the part something, and then you can see the those playlists that I was telling you about. Let's see, Mokume Gane technique made easy. You have all of them in order. There's 5 parts, and you can get all kinds of tips from that. So yeah, that is 2 millimeters, the micro beaders. I showed you on the little receipt invoice. So I shall see you all next Sunday, and we are going to use the micro beads, and it's going to be gorgeous. Okay, till next Sunday, have a wonderful week, and if you are in the way of the blizzard, please stay warm, because I know the northeast is getting slammed today and tomorrow, maybe even after that. Here next week we're gonna have again temperatures in the 70s. So say Oklahoma, and you know what kind of weather you're getting. Thank you so much. See you next Sunday. Bye.